Hi, I'm Taylor with Mom on the Spectrum, and today I wanted to talk a little bit about autism as a difference and not a disorder. So, this is a concept that's really helped shape my life as a late diagnosed autistic adult. I'm 34 now, but I received my autism diagnosis when I was 31, and it totally changed everything for me. A large part of why I didn't have my diagnosis for so long is because I had a complete misunderstanding of what autism was. I saw it as like this huge disability that came across as being developmentally delayed and all kinds of different misconceptions that I had that kept me from getting the information I needed to understand that I too was autistic. And so part of what really has helped me is switching the mindset from autism being a disorder to just being a difference. And that has resonated so much with me because I've always seen myself as standing on the outside looking in, and I find patterns that other people don't find, and I see things that other people don't see. I hear things that other people don't hear. And I've always known like the best way. Somebody asked me the other day, like, what was I like before I got diagnosis? Why did I seek a diagnosis? Because the best way I can say it is my brain has just always been so different. And even though I can't live another life in somebody else's brain, what I have observed from other people is just such a different experience from what I experience on a day-to-day basis. So embracing this idea of autism as a difference and not a disorder has just totally opened my life up in a really incredible way. So does this mean that we don't have challenges? Absolutely not. There are so many challenges that come with being an autistic adult, especially a late diagnosed autistic adult. But I do think that a lot of the challenges that we face are because we have these societal expectations that don't fit the way that our brain is wired. And so a lot of the things that have helped me are just realizing that I do things differently, and that's okay. I was talking with people in one of my connections group this morning about the concept of autistic inertia, which is this idea that once we're doing something, we want to continue doing something. And if we're not doing anything, we want to continue not doing anything. And changing between those two states is really hard. That's why you might have noticed as an autistic person that transitions are really difficult for you. Well, whenever we are working really hard, whenever we are in that state of activity that we want to keep staying in, we can accomplish so much. Like I could work a 10-hour day and accomplish everything on my week's to-do list in that 10 hours because, that might be a bit of an overstatement, but hopefully you understand the meaning behind what I'm saying. I can get so much done in that 10 hours, but then after that 10 hours, I'm going to be unproductive for a few days because I need a huge time to reset. Now, that doesn't work in this day and age at a 9-to-5 job because we're expected to have pretty similar output on a day-to-day basis if you're not self-employed, right? Or even if you are self-employed, there's certain expectations that are put on us to produce the same amount of quality and content and products on a day-to-day basis. But that doesn't always work for the autistic brain. I don't think it's a bad thing that we have these uneven cycles of productivity. And I talk more about uneven productivity in some of my other videos. Those have seemed to be pretty helpful to the community. I know that concept was another huge one that changed my life. I think it's actually pretty cool that we can work in those types of cycles, but we've been led to believe that they're not okay in a lot of instances because this isn't the way that the rest of the world works. They show up for their 9-to-5 and they get their to-do list done more or less on a day-to-day basis. But we might need to come in on Wednesday because Tuesday we were nonverbal and didn't have words. But Wednesday we can come in and we can, after a day of rest, knock our whole to-do list out and do it with efficiency and skill and precision. So just this understanding that we are different, we're wired differently, that's okay. It has given me so much more grace and compassion for myself and my life, and really just freed up so much cognitive space where I'm not, before my diagnosis, I was like, what's wrong with me? What am I doing? My cat just jumped on the desk. You have to get down. I'm gonna say hi. Before my diagnosis, I spent so much time in my head thinking, what's wrong with me? Why am I like this? And now all that space is just free to be creative. And I'm not saying I don't still have cognitive friction because I do. There's still so many processes that take up space in my brain, but it's no longer space taken up by these intrusive thoughts of why are you different? Why are you not like everybody else? Now I know, and I actually think it's pretty cool. And the more time I spend in the autistic community, the more I learn about my patterns, and I learn that I'm not alone. And so, again, I'm not saying that we don't have challenges, because there definitely are a lot of challenges associated with being an autistic person. But I think when we can start from the ground level of approaching this community as different and not less, is so important. In fact, I wanted to share a comment that one of the community members left in the comments. This is from Spyro Ninja, who said, "Turns out different and broken are not the same thing." I love that so much. So if that's you, if you're resonating with these concepts, this is where I come from. This is my perspective on this channel here that I started just to be a place where we could explore ideas and I could share vocabulary that has helped me as a late diagnosed autistic person. So if this approach resonates with you, this is the perspective that you're going to find here on my channel and in all of my resources. I wanted to share 4 resources I've created that might be helpful to you, and I'm going to put a link to all of these in the description. The first one is my Big Autistic Resource Guide. I'm so proud of this. So I had this idea that there are so many autistic products and people and services out there that if we could all know where to find them, we could help support each other and help each other be successful. So the Big Autistic Resource Guide, it's donation-based, but you can download it for free at momonthespectrum.life/resources, where all of my resources are. You can also be featured in it for free. So if you have an autistic product, business, service you'd like to have featured in the guide, you can email me at submissions@momonthespectrum.life, and I will include that in the next edition of the guide. The other one that I'm really proud of is my Meltdown Survival Guide. This was probably the second most important concept that I learned after being diagnosed as autistic. Meltdowns and how different those can look from person to person. It doesn't have to just look like crying and maybe large stimming that you might have seen as a stereotypical autistic meltdown. For me, I go nonverbal. I lose my words. I need to be by myself. And so learning how our nervous system plays a role in that and how we can support our nervous system in regulating back to a place that feels good and comfortable has made a huge difference in my life. So I created a guide to help others understand what I've come to learn about autistic meltdowns. The next resource I wanted to share is my ABCs of Autism resource. This is a recent one that I just published thanks to a lot of subscriber help and comments and suggestions. So I'm building a dictionary based on helpful terms in the autistic community, terms that would have saved me a whole lot of time and energy if I would have known where to find them all in one location. So if you're new to life on the spectrum or just want help having more vocabulary to better support your experiences, check out that ABCs of Autism guide. It's also donation based, and you're welcome to download it for free just by putting a 0 in the checkout box if that's the situation that you find yourself in today. And then the last resource that I wanted to share with you is my emergency card for people on the spectrum. I designed this because I wanted our community to have something small and portable that they could share with an emergency responder. So it's designed to be handed to a police officer or a doctor or anyone that needs to give you care in case of an emergency. It has words to help describe what you might be needing in that situation so that you don't have to try to find the words when you're in the middle of that stressful situation. That's also a free resource, and you can find the link to it in the description. I hope that this topic has been helpful to you. It's just been on my mind a lot lately, and I just wanted to post a little note on here as a little love letter to let you know you're not less than, there's nothing wrong with you, you're different and unique, and you have a really interesting perspective on the world that we need. Please subscribe to the channel and like this video if it was helpful to you. Leave me a note in the comments introducing yourself if you're new. I love interacting with members of the community, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.